Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Saida Sala, a foundation level student at Rehan School. Today I'm talking with Any AI about Freelancing Wali. We will learn what freelancing is, how beginners can start, and why it's becoming so popular. So let's begin. Hello Maya, how are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
It's great to be back on your channel. I'm ready to. So, where do we start? I'm ready for the first question whenever you are.
Okay Maya, so my first question is for you that what is freelancing?
At its simplest, freelancing is when you're your own boss. Instead of working for one company with a steady paycheck, you sell your skills like writing, designing, or coding to different clients on a project by project basis. You're essentially a one person business. You choose who you work with, when you work, and usually where you work.
That's interesting. So freelancers don't need one permanent office job. So my next question is, who is called a freelancer?
A freelancer is anyone who works independently rather than being employed by a single company. If you have a skill that someone is willing to pay for, whether you're a graphic designer, a translator, or a virtual assistant, and you offer that service to multiple clients on your own terms, you're a freelancer.
Wow, that gives people more freedom. So my next question is, why do people choose freelancing?
Freedom is the big one, for sure. People love the idea of designing their own day. No commute, no strict 9 to 5, and the ability to work from a cafe or their own couch. Then potential by taking on multiple high paying projects. Plus, it lets you work on a variety of different things so you don't get bored doing the same tasks for the same company for years.
That sounds perfect for many people. So my next question is, can students become
And listen,
freelancers?
absolutely. In fact, students are often some of the best freelancers because they're usually quick learners and have a lot of digital fluency. Plus, it's a great way to build a professional portfolio while still in school, so by the time they graduate, they already have a track record of real world experience.
That's great. Students can earn while learning. So my next question is freelancing difficult?
It definitely has its challenges. The hardest part isn't usually the actual work, but the business side of it. You're not just the talent, you're also the salesperson, the accountant, and the project manager all at once. Plus, since the income can be unpredictable, you have to be really disciplined with your time and your money to make it sustainable.
So patience is very important. So my next question is, which skills are useful?
Oh, the list is practically endless these days. Basically, if you can do it on a computer, there's probably a market for it. The big ones are usually creative skills like graphic design, video editing, and writing. Then you have technical skills like web development, app coding, and data analysis. And don't forget the organizational side. Things like virtual assistants, project management, and social media marketing are huge right now. Really just comes down to what you're naturally good at or what you're willing to learn.
There are so many skills to choose from. So my next question is, what is graphic design?
Graphic design is basically visual storytelling. It's the art of combining images, colors, and text to communicate a specific message or solve a problem. Think about the logos you see on your favorite products, the layout of a magazine, or even the app icons on your phone. That's all graphic design. It's not just about making things look pretty, it's about making sure the information is clear and eye catching so that people actually understand what the brand or the person is trying to say.
I like creative work too. So my next question is, what is content writing?
Content writing is essentially the art of using words to drive a specific action or provide value to a reader. It's everything from the blog posts you read online and the captions on social media to the detailed descriptions of products on a website. The goal is to take an idea or a piece of information and package it in a way that's engaging, easy to understand, and persuasive, depending on what the client needs.
Okay, Maya. So my next question is: can you tell me in explain and detail what is video editing and how to do that?
Video editing is where the real magic happens. It's basically the process of taking raw footage and sculpting it into a finished story. Think of the raw video as the ingredients and the editor as the chef. You're cutting out the boring parts, rearranging the sequence for better flow, and adding music, sound effects, and visual transitions to evoke a certain mood. You can change the entire vibe of a scene just by how you time a cut. As for how to do it, it usually follows a few main steps. First is the rough cut, where you just lay out the best clips in order. Then comes the fine cut, where you tighten the timing and refine the pacing. After that, you add B roll, which are the extra shots that play over the main audio to keep things visually interesting. And finally, you do the color grading and sound mixing to make everything look and sound professional. Depending on the level of a person, they might start with simple apps like CapCut or iMovie, but pros usually move into heavy hitters like Adobe Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. It's a bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of the software, it's all about your creative eye.
Videos are everywhere today. So my next question is: can AI help freelancers? I want to know this in detail.
Oh, absolutely. AI isn't replacing freelancers, it's giving them superpowers. Think of it as the ultimate assistant that never sleeps. For a writer, AI can be a cure for writer's block. It can brainstorm 10 different headlines in seconds or help outline a long article so you aren't staring at a blank page. For a graphic designer, tools like AI image generators can create mood boards or rapid prototypes to show a client before the real detailed work begins. Then there's the productivity side. AI can handle the tedious stuff, transcribing interviews, summarizing long meeting notes, or even drafting those awkward, please pay your invoice emails that freelancers hate writing. It allows one person to do the work of a small agency because the busy work is automated. But the secret is that AI still needs a human pilot. It can generate a paragraph, but it can't understand a client's deep emotional goals or the subtle cultural nuances of a brand. The freelancers who will win are the ones who use AI to handle the volume, so they can spend more time on the actual strategy and creativity.
AI can save a lot of time. So my next question is: which AI tools are popular?
There are so many, but they usually fall into a few main buckets. For writing and brainstorming, ChatGPT and Claude are the go tos for most people. If you're into visuals, Midjourney and Dolly are huge for creating images from scratch, while Canva's AI tools are great for quickly putting together social media posts. For video and audio, tools like Descript are amazing because they let you edit video by editing text, and Adobe's Firefly is bringing AI right into Photoshop and Premiere. Then you have the productivity tools like Notion AI for organizing projects or Jasper for more marketing focused content. It's a bit of a gold rush right now, so new ones are popping up every week. Do you have a specific type of work you're most interested in?
No, not at all. But technology
That's
is
totally okay.
growing very fast. So my next question is: can beginners use AI?
100%. Actually, beginners have a huge advantage right now because AI lowers the barrier to entry. You don't have to spend years mastering every single tiny technical detail before you can start creating something of value. You can use AI to help you learn the ropes, bridge the gap in your skills, and get your first projects off the ground much faster than people could a few years ago.
That's good news for new learners. So my next question is: how long does it take to learn?
That's the $1 million question, but the honest answer is that it varies. If you're talking about getting a basic handle on a tool or a skill,
Yeah.
like learning to use Canva or writing basic
Yes.
blog posts, you can be functional in a few weeks, but becoming a true expert, that's a lifelong journey of practice and failing a few times along the way. The real secret is that you don't actually need to finish learning before you start. Most freelancers learn on the job. You learn just enough to take on a small project, and then you learn the rest while you're actually doing the work for a client. It's much faster that way.
Learning every day is important. So my next question is, do freelancers need English?
It definitely helps, but it's not a strict requirement. If you speak English, your market is basically the entire world, which means more clients and often higher pay because you can work with companies in the US, UK, or Europe. But there's a huge demand for freelancers who can work in their native languages too. If you're a great writer or designer in Spanish or Urdu, for example, you can dominate that specific market. The key is knowing who your target client is and speaking the language they speak.
English help us communicate better. So my next question is, can freelancing become a career?
Absolutely. And for many people, it's the only way they want to work. It's not just a side hustle, it can be a full blown professional career. Some freelancers spend decades building a reputation, becoming highly sought after experts in their niche, and earning far more than they ever would in a traditional corporate role. The only difference is that instead of climbing a corporate ladder, you're building your own ladder. You can start as a solo act and eventually grow into a studio or an agency by hiring other freelancers to help you. It just requires a different kind of ambition, one that's focused on self reliance and constant adaptation.
Yes, when people work.
Exactly. It's a whole lifestyle once you get into it. Do you think more people will move toward this kind of work in the future?
Yeah, I think so.
It feels inevitable, honestly. With everything moving online and the way people value flexibility now, their old 9 to 5 is starting to feel a bit like a relic. I can see a world where the office is just a choice, not a requirement. Since we've covered the what and the why, do you want to dive into the actual how? Like where to find those first clients?
Yes, I want to dive in. Can you tell me and explain?
I've got you. Finding those first clients is usually the scariest part, but it's all about visibility. Most people start in one of three ways. First, there are the big platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. These are like the giant malls of freelancing. The clients are already there, but there's a lot of competition. So you have to be really sharp with your profile to stand out. Then there's the warm network approach. This is just letting everyone you know, friends, family, former teachers, know that you're offering a service. Believe it or not, your first paying client is often someone who already trusts you. And finally, there's the show, don't tell method, which is using social media. If you're a designer, post your work on Instagram or LinkedIn. If you're a writer, start a blog. When people see you actually doing the work, they start coming to you instead of you hunting for them. Does one of those sound more your style than the others?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a trial and error process, but once you find the rhythm that works for you, it gets way easier. Since you're doing this for your channel, do you want to talk about, how to build a portfolio
Yes, I
or
want to talk.
maybe how to handle? All right, let's talk portfolios. Since you're just starting out, the biggest hurdle is usually the chicken and egg problem. You need a portfolio to get clients, but you need clients to get a portfolio. The secret is to create concept projects. Basically, you pick a brand you love or a fake company and do the work for them just to show what you're capable of. It proves you have the skill, even if you haven't been paid for it yet. Do you want to know how to organize those projects so they actually impress a client? Or Should we move on to the scary part?
No,
How to
I want to know
actually
about
price.
that.
The key is to treat your portfolio like a gallery, not a storage unit. You don't want to show every single thing you've ever made. You only want to show your absolute best work. A client usually decides in a few seconds if they like your style, so quality beats quantity every time. I recommend organizing it by case studies instead of just showing a final image or a link to an article. Explain the problem the client had, how you solved it, and what the result was. It shows that you're a strategic thinker, not just someone who can use a tool. Do you think that approach makes sense, or do you want to talk about where to actually host your portfolio so people can find it?
No, I think it really makes sense. So let's move on our questions. My next question is, what qualities make a good freelancer?
A great freelancer is usually a mix of a skilled pro and a disciplined entrepreneur. The first thing is reliability, since you don't have a boss watching over your shoulder. Being the person who actually hits the deadline every single time makes you an instant favorite with clients. Then there's communication. Being able to explain your process, ask the right questions, and keep the client in the loop prevents those nightmare projects where you finish the work and the client says, "This isn't what I wanted at all." And lastly, a growth mindset. As technology and trends change so fast, like we talked about with AI, the best freelancers are the ones who never stop being students. They're always tweaking their style and learning new tools to stay relevant. Do you think those are things a student can start practicing
Yeah,
now,
I think
or
so.
does it only happen once you're in the
No, I
thick of
think
it?
so. So, okay, my discipline and honesty really matter. So, my next question is for you that how do freelancers find clients?
We touched on this a bit earlier, but let's dive deeper into the actual strategies. Beyond those big platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, the real secret is active outreach. This is when you find a company or a person you'd actually love to work with and send them a personalized pitch. Instead of saying, "I can do this," you show them something you noticed about their current work and explain exactly how you could make it better. It's much more personal and usually gets a better response than a generic application. Then there's referrals, which is the gold standard. When you do a great job for one person, they tell their friends, and suddenly you have a line of clients without even having to search. Do you want to know how to write one of those pitches, or maybe how to handle a client who's trying to negotiate your price down?
Mm, I want to know how to handle our client who
Let's
wants to know price and something.
That is one of the most stressful parts of the whole gig. When a client tries to push your price down, the first thing to remember is that you aren't just charging for the hour it takes to do the work. You're charging for the years it took you to learn how to do it in an hour. If they say your price is too high, don't just drop it immediately. That makes it look like you were overcharging them to begin with. Instead, try scope reduction. You can say, "I understand that's outside your budget. To get closer to that number, we can remove X or Y from the project." This shows that your time has a fixed value, but you're flexible on the amount of work you provide. It a smaller version that fits their budget. Does that feel like a conversation you'd be comfortable having, or does the idea of negotiating still feel a bit
Yeah, I think
intimidating?
so. So, let's move on to a question. My next question is, why is communication important?
Communication is everything in freelancing because you're the only bridge between the client's vision and the final result. Since there's no manager in the middle to translate things, any tiny misunderstanding can snowball into a huge problem. Good communication builds trust. When a client knows exactly where the project stands, they stop worrying and start trusting you with more work. It's also your best defense against scope creep. That's when a project slowly grows and grows until you're doing twice the work for the same price. Being able to say, "I'd love to add that feature, but it falls outside our original agreement, so here is the extra cost," saves you from burnout. Do you think being direct with a client is harder than doing the actual work, or does that seem easy to you?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, good communication creates happy clients. So my next question is what if a client rejects your work?
That's the part that keeps every freelancer up at night, but it's actually a normal part of the process. First, it's important not to take it personally. A rejection of the work isn't a rejection of you as a person, it's just a sign that there's a gap between what the client imagined and what was delivered. The best way to handle it is to ask for specific, actionable feedback. Instead of asking, why don't you like it? Ask, which specific parts aren't hitting the mark? And what would make them feel right to you? Understood. I'll stay quiet and wait for you to say start before I repeat my last
Okay,
answer.
we should learn from mistakes and improve it. So my next question is how can freelancers improve?
Improving as a freelancer is all about the feedback loop. The best way to get better is to actively seek out critiques, even the ones that sting a bit. Instead of just finishing a project and moving on, ask your clients what specifically worked and what could have been better. Then there's the student part we mentioned earlier, staying curious. That means taking a course in a new tool, studying the work of freelancers you admire, and figuring out why their work is successful, and constantly experimenting with your own process. The moment you think you've arrived is usually when you stop growing. Do you think that constant learning sounds exciting, or does it feel a bit
Yes, it sounds
overwhelming?
exciting and practice makes us better every day. So my next question is should freelancers build a portfolio?
Absolutely. A portfolio is a freelancer's most powerful tool. It's it's essentially your visual resume. Without one, you're just telling a client you can do the work. With one, you're proving it. It transforms the conversation from I think I can do this to here is exactly what I've done before. For a beginner, it's the fastest way to build trust and justify your prices. Do you want to talk about what specifically should go into a winning portfolio or
Yes, I
how to
want to know
present it
about
so it
that.
looks to make a portfolio that actually wins jobs? You want to focus on the why and the how, not just the what. Instead of just posting a bunch of images or links, treat each project as a small story. Start with the problem the client had, then show the steps you took to solve it, and end with the final result. This proves to a client that you aren't just good with a tool, but that you're a strategic thinker who can deliver results. As for presenting it, keep it clean. Use a simple website, a PDF, or even a curated social media page, but make sure it's easy to navigate. The goal is to get the client to your best work in as few clicks as possible. Do you want to know some of the best free places to host a portfolio, or are you
Yes,
curious about how to handle it if you don't have any real clients yet?
yes, I want to know if we don't have a client.
This is where the fake it till you make it strategy actually becomes a professional tool. If you don't have paying clients yet, the best thing to do is create concept projects. Basically, you pick a brand you love, or even make up a fake company and do the work for them as if they had hired you. For example, if you're a graphic designer, you could redesign the logo for a local coffee shop just to show how you do it. It proves you have the skill and the vision, and it fills up your portfolio with high quality work while you're still hunting for that first real paycheck. Does that feel like a good way to get started, or do you think it's a bit intimidating to put out work for fake clients?
I don't think so. Okay, Maya.
Fair enough. It's actually a pretty.
So my next question
Wait,
is
Miles? I think you've got
no, I say Maya. My next question is what final message would you like to give?
my final message would be this. Don't let the fear of not being perfect stop you from starting. Freelancing is a journey of 1,000 small mistakes that eventually turn into expertise. The most successful freelancers aren't necessarily the most talented people in the room. They're the ones who were brave enough to put themselves out there, stayed disciplined, and never stopped learning. Just start, Keep your curiosity alive. And remember that every no is just one step closer to the right yes. It's been a blast being on your channel today.
Thank you so much. Your advice will inspire many people. So thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation with any, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. So till then, take care. Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Zindabad. And thank you so much, Maya, for your time.
You're so welcome. It was a real pleasure. I love the energy you bring to your channel. Allah Hafiz, and I'll be here whenever you're ready for the next topic.